Dear Venerable Sir, Dhamma friends, of course according to the timetable this is time for walking meditation, but anyway due to my time pressure I thought of visiting you all and have a session of question and answer instead, so that I can maintain my balance of the day. So therefore, if you do not mind to sacrifice this walking meditation hour for a question and answer, I would like to invite for questions. If you have any written questions, we can start the session with the written questions, or otherwise we can we invite open questions for a discussion, please.
Venerable Sir, we had actually thought this was going to be a Dhamma talk. So that's okay. We don't have written questions. Yeah. Please open it up to the floor.
Yeah, so that if I am to give a just briefing, we are going to discuss the matters pertaining to our precepts and the basic instructions given, and any problem or any question happening in your sitting meditation, walking meditation and your day-to-day activities. These things we will take the method pragmatic theme for the question and answers. I heard due to the effort of Venerable Chandaratana and the Venerable Dhamma Vihari, now question and answer session has come to a certain discipline. It is happening in a progressed way. So we will try to maintain the same trend, and with that idea we will open a question and answer session, or in the sense Dhamma discussion, so that we all get benefited. If you have any question pertaining to your precepts that you are observing now and pertaining to the basic instructions given or related to your practice, I cordially invite to raise the hand so that you can present the questions to the discussion.
Venerable Sir, she will go and bring her question. In the meantime, if you don't mind, I can open the Q&A with a simple question.
Yeah.
I am someone who by nature just about never ever really got angry. But I find that increasingly I get grumpy more often now. It may be a byproduct of the meditation practice, or it may be just old age or whatever, I don't know. But especially if I feel that the Vinaya is being transgressed in any way, then I get particularly grumpy. Lack of respect for others or whatever. So I wonder whether you can give some advice to me in particular, and maybe general advice might help.
So do you it's your personal idea or your partner in the discussion or any anger, does other party also have informed you that you are becoming short-tempered more and more? Or it's your own observation?
My observation, Venerable Sir, others probably would observe the opposite.
So that is therefore your presentation may be wrong. That is because not the irritation, but the self-criticism.
But you can feel it inside.
Yeah, self-criticism is increasing. And therefore you have a sensitivity, thinking the other party may get irritated and they think you are a short-tempered person when compared to the past. There are four shades. One thing is the irritation. The second thing is fault-finding with others. Third one is self-criticism. The fourth one is pedantic. You wanted to everything happen, work to rule like. So these are four characteristics of early signs of mindfulness. So whenever you become mindful, you become more irritated. Whenever you become mindful, you find fault with others more than earlier. And you are self-criticized. And you want everything to happen, work to rule kind of thing. So all four appear to be negative in the social sense. But all four are very clear signs of restraint. clear signs of mindfulness. So it must be interpreted in a correct way, and don't put into the wrong way and put it in a way now mindfulness is catching. So don't interpret them as a irritation, you have to say sensitivity increasing. And finding fault is with others that you have, whenever the other mindful people get together, you have kind of an expectation, all must be something like that. But sometimes they are not up to they are moral restraint, not up to the concentration restraint. And when you are not mindful at home, you are not critical on them. Because you are saying, the yardstick, your measuring stick is now more sharper. And then, whenever you are criticizing outside, it is same token, you criticize yourself. Am I having a role model good? Or am I slack and finding fault with others, kind of self-criticism? And overall you find world is not perfectly round, it must be perfectly round. Or it must be square. So these are the things. So these are the things we call the meditation jokes. Among the monks, there are special kind of jokes among the mendicants. So if you do not know how to make a joke out of that, you will be utterly burning your blood. So expression, sharing, make it kind of the fun. Because we are not expressing to others in a bad idea or malice, you just express yourself. I have kind of irritating character. So if others also confirm, you are correct. If the others are telling, no, it is not such a thing, you are self-criticized, it's a very nice kind of a sharing. And the most crucial or peculiar thing is, by a Dhamma talk, talks, you can't rectify it. Only through discussions you can do it. These things must be, only the discussion can rectify this question. And mutual understanding. Otherwise, easily you can interpret it wrongly, and it is negative to meditation. The correct interpretation is very, very important, and that is why the association with the true people, association with the kind of a not involved kind of a commentary, just to give a distance and see the situation as a subject matter, and then analyze it. So I read it in one of the Gurdjieff books, and they are not talking related to meditation, but whatever they say is, whenever you introduce any kind of a restraint, these four appear like byproducts.
Thank you, Venerable Sir.
Keep this angle.
Bhante, I've been practicing for about 2.5 years. I participated one of your retreats at Battaramulla last year, December. So at that time I had a severe chest pain. It was a very severe one, and I was having this dying feeling and at the same moment I just went into a deep sleep for about 50 minutes. Continuously it happens for about 3-4 times. Afterwards, now I don't get it much, but mostly Bhante, when I start meditating, my primary object is Anapanasati. It disappears within about 2-3 breaths, and I just go to some unconscious type of a thing, and for about some certain period, and I just come out. When I move my head forward, I just come out of it, and it constantly happens. And normally now I have no primary object. I continuously have been in that position. And so I just feel it's very comfortable and I like it, but I'm worried because I'm not with the primary object. It really worries me. And once when I stopped my sitting and just walked, then I just felt some blurry vision. And another time, once I was sitting, I just felt that cracking sensation at my this thing, and I got scared and I opened my eyes. And about 3 times, I felt a stillness while I was just doing my day-to-day life, where I didn't have any thoughts or anything. I was just I was gazing at something once at a garden. Then I didn't have any thoughts. It was a very different experience. It was something, I feel very still without any thoughts. I'm just gazing without any thoughts. About thrice it happened to me.
So there are 4 things you mentioned about the heart and chest situation.
Yes,
and one thing is quickly you do away with anapana and go to a kind of a space.
Yes.
And there's another cracking kind of the going to pieces kind of experience. And complaint is that when you go to that state, there are no objects to be focused upon.
Yes.
And that is what the question is.
Yes,
why you are relating to 3 other sensations, heart case, cracky sensation and flurry situation. What is the relationship between these 3 and the no object situation?
You mean?
Why you are referring to these things?
Because I thought that you'll get a clear idea.
Yeah, it is informative.
Yes.
So I will put it this way. You have kind of a pressure in the heart.
Okay.
You have a cracky sensation in your backbone.
Yes.
Or you have flurry vision.
Yes.
With compared to that, no object.
Yes.
Which one you prefer?
I prefer the no object thing.
No objects.
Yes.
So you prefer heart attack.
No.
Why you are told? That's the thing you are proving now. I am giving options.
Yes.
Out of your words. Heart attack, a crack in your bones, backbone, or flare vision. And other side, no object. So out of that, you are happy with that, the heart attack and going to pieces kind of thing, and the flare objects, vision.
Yes.
Are you sure?
No, I don't like it.
So now I am giving again the 2 options. Which one you prefer? Your mind, what is your liking and disliking? No objects or with objects?
No object.
So then why are you asking the question then?
The question is one
You
thing.
have to talk to the mic.
Yes. Because there is no
You
object.
have to talk to the mic.
Yeah. Okay. Because there is no object, I don't know how to go ahead. That's the problem.
So then I can give you a heart attack. So I can give you another going to pieces without falling apart atmosphere. Or can give a blur kind of something to look at. Or headache. Or the panic situation. Or what kind of thing. And no objects. So still you say that no object is a question. It's uncertainty.
Yes.
So I would like to get the other's opinion also. Keep her in the court in this thing, and we can discuss others. Out of meditation, we get pain, like a heart attack, like pressure, and we get some broken into pieces everywhere, or sometimes vision. And with respect to no objects, out of that, what is the idea, what is the general opinion of the audience, which one we have to foster, which one we have to facilitate, which one we have to give the preference out of these 2? Anyone to give an opinion? Pardon me? But she is doubtful. She is asking the question. So how can we convince her, telling that no object situation is the better? Your opinion, okay? Yes? And if I am talking on behalf of her, after analyzing like that, again now mind go to the no object situation, then what you prefer? You handled properly about your chest pain and you are so efficient, so that is disappearing. And then, and again, she, according to her value system, she become doubtful. So what are you going, what is your prescription?
To the no object situation.
No, that chest pain happens,
yes.
Go through it, find the reason behind it, and then the chest pain disappears. And go to I am anticipating, go into no object situation. Now again the problem is there now. She came to here from that place to telling that I am going to this kind of a situation, and no object situation is the answer. She is also, then you also telling. But she will not be happy, she is not contented.
I don't know beyond that. Sorry, ma'am.
Bhante, if I understand you correctly, in your own words, you say, kakka okkoma heduවට පස්සේ ආපහු kakka ගොඩක් එතනට දා ගන්නවා කියලා. So that is exactly how I feel it.
So what is kakka? What is
kakka are the other heart attacks and chest pain and all that.
That means object you consider as kakka.
Yes. And
okay.
The clear situation is the vacuum and the vacant position. So be there as much as possible. Just be there.
I understand your argument, but I am telling she came from that place to here, tell that she experienced kakka and no kakka situation.
Yeah.
But she says the no kakka situation is the question. So I am asking other opinion. The kakka is bad or correct, not relevant. I am asking no kakka situation, she knows. Yeah. And she says it's not an accident. It is not an accident. He has been very efficient. And when these two given, her doubt, uncertainty and situation is when there are no objects, she is not at comfort. So I am asking, what is your opinion? Your likings and disliking, I understand. But it won't console her.
She is very intelligent, it appears to me. So eventually she will understand that the non-kakka situation is the better.
So she has to understand.
Yeah, she has to.
So we are not forcing. We are not here to force her. You must respect. No situation, no object. No, that is not. Meditation is not that. That's why the discussion means. That's a rapport. That's a dialogue means. So we have to convince her, when you're given the situation, to see the priority, see the better thing, see the advancement, and to how to help her, how to facilitate her, whether if you are correct, how to convince her.
Venerable Sir, now all that is created automatically or by yourself are sanya and sankhara. So she is knowingly or unknowingly originating sanya and sankhara. So she will certainly understand it, I think.
That situation with object and no object, both are sanya,
yeah.
Both are sankhara. Both are sankhara. Otherwise she won't come from that place to here to ask the question. So I am asking, both are there, which one is preferable, which one is to be fostered, which one is to be facilitated, and even we are accepting what you are telling. We must have a methodology for her value system to appreciate what you are telling. How can we convince her, and what are the ways and means to understand her situation and to give a constructive suggestion? What is the constructive suggestion? So one thing is maybe some passive, but let her mind face both, with object situation and without object situation, and see how the mind evolve, how the mind mature with more and more confrontation. And that is called anupassana, see again and again. So we can ask her, it says, evenly suspended attention and suspended decisions. Evenly suspended attention to the object no object situation, and don't arrive at a decision, non-judgmental, let it happen again and again. That I accept. That for you to have a bridging. But I am going to say there are some efficient techniques. More than that, so that is what I just wanted to meditate. Select what is less irritating. No, you have to express clearly. She is irritated now with no object. So how to, if it is, you have to talk to the mic.
She has to see by herself which position is less irritation. She may not realize it at the very beginning, but as she goes on again and again when it's happening, and she has to see which position is.
That means she has to repetitively apply, taking the irritation as a criterion, which one going to give the less and less irritation. So that means the practical suggestion to the repetitive application is the tool, and take the irritation as the criterion. Go for less irritating part. That I can suggest to her some more. Yes, another one is go prepared. That means, I will interpret according to my understanding, don't look at the no irritation as a mishap or enemy, consider it as something I earn, something an endowment. That is what we call go prepared. With object situation, go prepared. That is why she says that go through the heart pain. And then again she can go to either another object or no object situation, and that is also one implementation of preparedness. The other one is, whenever there are no objects, don't consider it as a mishap. Don't consider it as a pit hole or pothole. Go prepared. And then have a different viewpoint, a different perspective to the no objective situation, and let it happen again and again, and see whether it is going to reduce the irritation. Co-preparedness also good. And anyone would like to contribute to this situation? Theoretically, the Buddha mentioned very clearly about this situation. So we can take the theory understanding. In Anguttara Nikaya Ekaka Nipata, it says, Arammana bhikkhave uppajjati papaka akusala dhamma, no anarammana, tasmin eva arammane pahine tang akusalam pajahati. The Buddha mentioned, when and where the defilement arises, it arises with an object, not a without object. The first very statement is, wherever and whenever defilement arises, it arises with an object, not without an object. Knowing that, let that arisen object to fade off, that means you are doing away with your defilements. Less and less object and no object means no defilements. Less and less object means less and less defilements. More clear object means more clear defilements. So that's a theoretically Buddha has given the direction. And then the second thing is, now you have the object, heart pain and cracky situation and the flurry kind of situation and no objects. So out of that you have to first theoretically say no object is our aim. It's a gift. It's an endowment. It's an achievement. It's a progress. But your mind is not ready to accept it. You have to sympathize it. Theoretically Buddha says, but my mind is not accepting because you feel alienated rather than aloneness. You never feel hudekalawa, solitude, you feel cornered. You feel outcasted like. So that is the point where principle of the teaching and principle of your heart. Principle of your heart, welcome objects. But the Buddha says, do away with objects. So even if you achieve very skillfully to no object situation, principles of your heart is contradicting. You have to convince your heart, listen to the Buddha, Object is more object situation means a defiled situation. No object situation is no defiled. So therefore you have to train your heart also. That is theory. And the next thing is let it happen again and again. Evenly suspended attention and suspended decision. And the third aspect is see whenever you give this kind of perspective whether irritation is reducing, entertaining doubts reducing, uncertainty reduces, and loneliness reduces, boredom reduces, monotonous reduces. If that is the case, you are progressing. So therefore imagine if you are born into an age where there is no Buddha, where there is no Dhamma, there is no Sangha. We are ardently meditating. Even if you achieve the target, even if you achieve some important stages, our mind interprets completely wrong. So how can we get out of if there is no Buddha, if there is no Dhamma, if there is no Sangha like us to discuss? Sangha is not the brown color, even the white color. Those who are striving, we have to discuss each other. Otherwise, even though people say meditation is going into the forest and doing a selfish kind of thing, even you simple vipassana jnana also you can't gain yourself alone. You have to have a rapport, you have to dialogue. The other people has to give a proper interpretation and the theory has to come and really plug into the proper situation. Your mind rational, your mind inferential knowledge, rational knowledge, deductive knowledge also must be exactly the sharp. Then only you appreciate the good thing as good and bad thing as bad. When I was in Nilambe, I don't know, my English also not so sharp, and whenever talking also I was not up to the mark in the meditation even on that. But Godwin used to say two terms, aloneness and loneliness. Loneliness is a disease. Aloneness is a maturity. So, Sigmund Freud, I can't remember exactly the term, he says psychiatric disease means hysteric level of mental diseases. His counseling is to reduce that hysteric level of hysteria or hysteric level of mental disease to the day-to-day unsatisfactoriness. Nothing I can do more than that. Don't let it go out to the hysteria. So accept it as a day-to-day unsatisfactoriness, then you are healed. So here also you have to understand, when there is no object, Buddha is happy, Dhamma is happy, Sangha is happy, but your bloody rational mind. And if you are not telling it, if you are not surrendering it, if you are not raising this question, you are the person suffering. If you go and raise to the people walking on the road, what will happen? They will consider you as something lunatic. But this is none of their business. So we have to get together and discuss. While discussing not the earning of this very mental state, but very appreciation. So that is the most important thing. That happens, but deductive knowledge kind of, you have to deduce it. You have to, inferentially you have to see that these are the techniques we came out, go prepared, let it happen again and again, see which one is reducing the stress. And the third one is add the theoretical understanding, object means kilesa, defilements. No object means no defilements. So object to no object is your meditation practice. Even if it is happening, if you are not appreciating, still you are desperate. Still you are asking others. But whenever you put it in the correct perspective, not only by that, by practicing again and again, one day you will see how to appreciate no object situation. But before ending the discussion, I am telling, that is not the Nibbana. That's yet another hurdle. That yet another hurdle. To put it more dramatic, it will be more hitting. I would say, I did the talk in the last one in the Wellington. The Venerable Sariputta is talking about the 6 things very difficult to see through, very difficult to understand, comprehend. One thing is He says, some people says, I have done so much of meditation of compassion. My mind is so compassionate. It is full of compassion. But still, my mind is worrying about suffering, others' suffering. I am so compassionate. Bhavita, Bahulikata, Susamaradha, all the terms he explained. But even if someone is going to say, my mind is getting worried about his suffering and my suffering, he says it is misappropriating Buddha, wrong teaching. You are, your terms and your expression is harming the good name of the Buddha. Because as far as the compassion is there won't be any kind of a worry. And then I took another supporting sutta in Metta Sahagata Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya. It says Nissaranang hetam bhikkave vihesang yadidang karuna. Whenever you have karuna or compassion, there cannot be any kind of worrying. Worrying is something out of defilements. Karuna is completely openness. You do whatever you appropriate, but you are not taking weight. You are not taking worry. And then the Buddha says it happened whenever the mind is touching Akasanan Chayatana, that means no object. Whenever there is no object, that's the most kindful mind. No worries. So you can help any person without personal connection. Creed or any religious or any family bondage, any person suffered, you go and do, it's out of compassion, not out of worries. But today you can see the people, those who are in the vested interest, take care about the other people, out of worries, they mess the situation, they mess the society. But their mind is not free. This is escapism. They do this job and that job and everything to make themselves busy. They are not qualified people. So therefore, first and foremost, you have to qualify. Well, otherwise you have to say, my karuna is not up to the mark, I know little, but I have worries, okay, no problem. But if there is the perfect karuna, there cannot be any worries. So therefore, the Buddha gave in the Metta Sahagata Sutta, Akasanan Chayatana Paramaham Bhikkave Karuna Chaito Vimutting Vadami. Whenever mind is full of compassion, nothing in the mind. Mind is completely blank. So you are fresh. You are not worrying about your son. You worry about any son, any person. So that is what the most developed metta, karuna. So I gave one example when I was, that was his 1980s, 80 maybe, Venerable Dhammika, my teacher, he was Australian, and during that time, Krishnamurti came to Sri Lanka. And he was in the Colombo, a royal guest house, government. So he went there, but no one allowed, because only the recognized guests are allowed. So he went to and talked with the Sri Lankan gatekeeper. He told, can I go there? No. If you go there, I also will get sacked. You can't. Then he see there's an indoor and there was an outdoor. He went to the outdoor and started walking backward now. So gatekeeper is observing the monkeys going backward from the outdoor. He says, what are you doing? No, this is out. Your job is in the indoor. Take care, I am going. She says, Bhante, now you are putting me in a hell of a trouble. So therefore, please. He says, just let me go, I am a monk. They will not give me much of a... Then please promise, Bhante, when you go there, don't make any fuss. Because I am giving a special. So he went there and he saw Krishnamurti is with about 15 people, talking very openly, morning hours. He went there and sat without any much of a fuss. So then the Krishnamurti is telling, whenever your mind is completely free, that is nothing but compassion. Whenever your mind is completely free, that is nothing but compassion. Though he got agitated, he said, how can the empty mind become compassionate? Then Krishnamurti had a very nice smile. He says, compassion means empty mind. Empty mind means compassion. You see, we never see this relationship. We think taking worry about the other pain is compassion. That is a sickness. That's a sickening mind. That is what you call vested interest. And that is the worst cancer in the human mind. Take advantage of capitalizing others' worries, and you become sick first. You are worried, and you do this and that, everything you can do is messing. So, I can't remember that is how the world, the missionary religion is doing. Created kind of a compassion about the person who has not convinced. And he says, if you wish to be saved, please come to my belief and I will give you that refuge and then you will be released. Like creating a kind of a compassion upon that. It's a vested interest and ultimately do the missionary work. In the Buddha's teaching, no mission, no missionary. Make your mind complete as much as possible, then you can see the society cross-section without preconceived ideas, without kind of a prejudgmental thing. So you do whatever you need, indeed. Otherwise your compassion only for your people. So I am relating that is happening only when the mind is free, no object. But our mind naturally hate no objects and still striving for meditation, striving for Nibbana. You see that, can we talk this kind of a thing in a national radio? Can we talk this kind of in a national television? And then only what happens, only religious people will come and kill me. You can't make a religion out of that with this statement. People make religion out of this vested interest and make big institutions, big constitutions, and they are capitalizing others' suffering. Being they are not qualified. So I am not on the critical ground. I am telling, whenever these two happens, object and no objects, see, simply I am accusing you, you came here to complain, no objects I can't accept. Bhante, what can I do? So I wanted to immediately pass the capital punishment for you. But I got the jury and the other court, what do you say? But anyway, I am passing the punishment. Understand? So now you have to give a complete statement now. What did you understand? Not repeating because you are confused, you are now transferred. You changed.
I have to let it happen again and again.
Yeah.
I have to facilitate it. When there is no object, it means no defilements, and I have to be in that.
And go prepared.
Go prepared.
Go prepared is the simple thing our Venerable Jnanarama Thero mentioned. But I did the no object is the no defilement kind of a series in goal, the series of talks, and that is also important. And let it happen again and again, and see after you correct perspective whether your irritations are reducing. Your worries and irritation, and then not only irritations are reduced, you feel hilarious, you feel adventurous, you feel like a girl guide to go into that again. More you go there, you confirm the same thing, kind of a confidence, kind of a solitude, kind of a contentment, and you feel that contentment was there even before, but you are not appreciating bloody thing. Now only thing is you are learning to appreciate, is that meditation or beyond meditation? Learning to appreciation is a part of meditation or beyond meditation?
Part of meditation.
No. That's about the view. That's why the Buddha says, for Sotapanna, Dasana Pahata, you have to see this. If you see this, your meditation becomes fruitful. If you do not see them, if you are not correct in this perspective, whatever the meditation you do, whenever you go on the correct path, you become worried. When your mind come back and defile, you feel familiar. So that means together with meditation, discussion, listening, and brainstorming can happen, should happen. The day you understand the correct perspective or correct view, then you are not the same person. But that is to happen. You have to do it again and again with the correct perspective and see now how quickly the worries are fading away. Instead, the adventurous feeling or irrational kind of feeling going to happen. So what a nice way. How much Dhamma is living. How much Dhamma is living. Moment you change your perspective, you are the person get the immediate benefits.
Yes, then even when I don't feel anything, even I feel very unconscious and something like that, even then I have to accept it.
At that point, you are no more.
Yeah. Yes.
Your bloody foolishness also no more. Your rational mind also no more. Understand?
Yes,
then you are not a fool.
Yes.
If you understand, you are not a fool.
Yes.
Otherwise, I have to say. So I doubt whether any person may raise questions more. Can others hear clearly? Yes.
Most Venerable Bhante, I want to share with you and everybody my meditation experience. It is a bit long, so excuse.
Speak louder,
Yes.
no problem.
Walking meditation, taking one step at a time, left foot and then the right foot. The pace slows down once your concentration increases. Then you break down the steps to lifting and keeping each step. During the walking meditation, I had 3 insights, so I've written it down. Insight 1, realizing there is no self. Even though I have heard this and studied this and subtly realized it while doing sitting meditation before, this is the first time I experienced it while walking meditation.
So I'm not disturbing. I would like to cross-question. How do you verify this is something reality, not a concept? That you say now you are not, earlier you had a kind of understanding and studies, but now you know. How do you know this one is not a concept?
Can I finish the rest of the... I realized the step is like thoughts and actions of everyday life. You attach and let go every step you take. Your body composition changes and even the sand you step on it of is a different composition every moment. Then everything has changed. Hence we are asked to stay in the present moment. There is no point clinging to the previous step as it was not you, and no point anticipating about the next step as you do not know what it would be. It is like stones that irritate you clinging to you, and stones that make you feel good clinging to your feet. It will then come with you, making you either irritable or soothing, just like actions that make you continue samsara.
Okay, that this is a kind of a gradual process. At the beginning, we'll say we have an idea about self, an egocentric idea. And each and every person is not challenging it. They are living with the society. But some of us, we are challenging it. Is it true? And then when you go there, we have the theoretical acceptance, but not convinced yet. So in walking or sitting, little by little, you have in Mahayana tradition, they call Satori, quick enlightenment. It is not there. And now you can say, earlier I had kind of a glimpses about the egotistic, now it is not there. But you have to say, this is also not 100% realization. It's a breaking of that misconception and reducing of that null hypothesis. So when you are going to make a statement, I broke it, is you have to disprove at least 95%. And meanwhile, mind may come and play, telling that earlier I had egotistic, but now I have no. So in the same Duppati Vijja quotation from Venerable Sariputta, he says, some people says, I have no asmimana. So it says, I am. The am part is the asmimana. I am. We are. And some people say, but again he says, here and there I feel again egocentric ideas. He says that cannot be. If there is no asmimana, how can be there any kind of egotistic idea? So he says, whenever the mind goes to the akinchanyayatana, no, not only the physical, not even the mental part, mind is completely blank, and under such circumstances, the egotistic idea have no footing, no foundation. So whenever it happens, there cannot be any construction of egotistic idea. So therefore, when you are stating like that, you have to talk in a relative terms. Earlier I had little, now it is weakening. So you must get encouraged, do it again and again, and each time there's a little bit of wearing and tearing. And that you have to facilitate. Facilitate it in 3 ways: by restrain your verbal activities, samma vacha, and restrain your physical activities, samma kammanta, and samma ajiva, your livelihood. You must live up to that. Otherwise, only by meditation, your experience will not be seconded. It will not be galvanized. It will not be reinforced. And that galvanized, reinforced part is your common sense, not the Buddha. Buddha never comes and says, hey, you have experiences, so live up to that. No, he says, if you have this thing, brain, you have to facilitate it with samma vacha, samma kammanta and samma jiva. I accuse each and every of you very weak on that. I am not telling you are not meditating. I am not telling you have not experience, but you are not reconsidering. You are not really take critical decisions about talks and deeds and livelihood. So therefore only by meditation there won't be much of changes. So it is called common sense. That is why we have lived on this earth, and we have the fear of samsaric suffering, and we are finding the ways to mean and ways to get out of that. So technically we are correct, it's very sound. But putting into practice, samma vacha, samma kammanta, samma ajiva, so you will see now your early values, likings and disliking, personality, this thing has to be sacrificed. And that's the biggest thing. So you may be very generous giving dani and this and that, but whenever you to give your likings and disliking, give up. Whenever you to reconsider about your personality traits, whenever you to reconsider about your habitual patterns and sansaric underlying tendencies, you see it is very difficult, but I would say it's a very gainful hobby. Each day when you get up, you see you are a completely new person. And don't try to check with your past bookkeeping and all the kind of thing. Just face it. And then you can see old enemies become friends. And your very pet ideas is completely devastating. They were undermining you, living with you and sleeping with you, but you are still fertilizing them. And therefore you are ready to reconsider. That's a call, train your mind and change your brain. And some people says, you become a newly born baby. In a card play, you get a new hand. You have to think about the hand in your hand and then play. Don't expect this to happen, that to happen. And that is the way we are living. Otherwise, we are utterly driven by our likings and dislikings. We are utterly driven by our underlying tendencies. And the only thing is, we meditators must at least thrash them out. As is, when I see, I feel hate. When I see you, I feel love. We are telling because of, we want to get them out. Not to make a good face kind of thing. So therefore, you are talking, of course. You are talking to the point. Short to the point. Not gossiping. You have to work. We are not from the princely and kingly families. But do it only for the utility. Don't go for luxuries. Do the livelihood, but don't exploit others. Don't let others to exploit you. And in among ourselves, of course, we can do it, but living in society at large is not difficult. But imagine the people do not have this experience, they have no drive for this kind of thing. They have not tested, they have not felt even the ego is something falsified. So we have to be very compassionate with them. We should not look down on them. But what makes it, no harm, no benefit, you have to say, this is the way. That's the way I was. So after understanding, you never look down someone. Without making any friction, you unhindered, daily progressing. So therefore, understand everything is relative. On this earth, nothing we can say absolutes. Never. But only refinement can happen. Sapeksha, not kevala. So that is the last century, science, the Sapekshitavada, which Einstein is given as the best scientist, because he came out with this relativity, and the Buddha is the first and foremost, but we have to understand day by day we are refining slowly.
Thank you, Bhante. I had 3 experiences, but this was what you spoke about was the question I wanted to ask. After having all these insights, how to apply to life, normal day-to-day life. Thank you, Bhante.
Theruvan Saranai, Venerable Bhante, and dear Dhamma friends. With regard to the earlier question about emptiness and those irritations, I feel that it will be beneficial if I can share some of my experiences on that. Now, Venerable Bhante mentioned that one sure technique is to go prepared. Now, there is another slight angle which I have understood, I would like to share with you all. Now, when we do normal Anapanasati, let's say when we take the breath, when we do the inhalation and exhalation, let's say we are in a cool environment like these days, and we feel the coldness of the breath and the warmth of the breath. As we go on, if we have practiced for long, we can start to see gradually, as we start to calm down the breath, never ever the real sensation of the breath is independent of the feeling. Now, whenever we feel the coldness of the breath, depending on our tendencies, we immediately develop a liking. Immediately we can't catch it, but as our practice deepens, we start to see never ever, most of the time, until we really go into this calming phase of the breath, we can't catch it. Our likes and dislikes, which are very tiny, emotions immediately come and catch that sensation. So likewise, when this division, these distracting things are experienced for the first few instances, our mind naturally reacts because we either like something or dislike something. But if our training in those early parts, if we can start to, that is how I developed it, if we can really go deep down into that understanding level, calming down the breath, then when this so-called emptiness, which is not a static, because immediately as it happens, that liking and disliking, just like in the case of breathing, we developed a kind of at the very first instance, a shock, which lives for tiniest seconds, and then from there onwards, emotion starts. Because we are always used to some kind of disturbances within inverted commas, some kind of activity within the mind flow. So, if we are able to calm that down with that practice, then we are able to see as time progresses, with that calming down, that so-called emptiness is never static. It goes on refining. And then, at times, after some point, we start to settle down into it. We accept it. And settling down, that also goes for a very long period. So that is another angle I thought of sharing. Thank you.
There are two remarks are there. One thing is feeling neutral, no pleasure, no pain, also happening, and this theory is not applied. And there are some things are happening unperceivable. Below your threshold value, that is also not applicable. So they are not meditative experiences. They are ever happening in ourselves. They are not happening due to meditation. We have a lot of things happening unconscious, and they are very great achievement of the meditation point of view. You are not appreciating. Likings and disliking, yes, but there are a lot of no liking and no disliking, no pain, no pleasure. Most of the time we are in it, we are not appreciating it. But in the meditation we delimit and say, these are the benefits you are getting. Generally you get it, but you are not appreciating. So therefore when you keep on meditating, you see, even if you feel likings and disliking, very noting that itself is an achievement. When Malakaputta is telling, Passato chapi rupang, sevato chapi vedana, evang so charati sato. His mindfulness is so sharp. He knows I have a desirable feeling, but no, for the first time. So even then, not defiled. You are more toward efficiency. Because you understand it, then and there likings and disliking happens. So at that time, when that in transitional period, it is not your understanding limited to sitting. Day-to-day activities, walking and everything, it can happen. So therefore, when you go to that side, we can show living Dhamma. They are not in books. Of course, book knowledge they are, you are applying it, and you are ever in a dynamism, going from wrong to the correct. So now my time is running out. So anyone else?
Just one quick question.
We'll give priority only for one. We have to select one out of two. Anyway, okay.
Very quick. Venerable Bhante, this is the first time I am participating in an English retreat, so pardon me for any lapses in terminology. My question is pertaining to walking meditation. When I start walking meditation, I start like a beginner and go left, right, and so on. And when naturally the other phases come in, like lifting, moving and placing, I start observing them. After about 15 to 20 minutes, I notice that either left or the right is moving like a pendulum. Not both, one of them. At a time, it moves like a pendulum. But the other foot is moving normally. So I was just wondering whether it's a concept or a reality. I wasn't so sure. And it seems to happen over and over again. and there is a lot of change. I see like the movements give me, different sort of movements from at each session. So I wasn't sure why it's happening in one leg and not the other, but it can alternate also.
So I will make a question. In our day-to-day activity, in each and every moment, there is active actions we are doing consciously, and there are a lot of passive things are happening. Asankharika, sasankharika, saviññānaka, aviññānaka, sachetana, achetana. So whenever you are getting the attention with the one leg, it is something you do, and you get the lifting, moving, dropping. And meanwhile, you can see other leg is swinging. Out of these two, which one needs to be more facilitated?
I think the pendulum, the one I feel is like involuntarily coming in should be facilitated. But because because it was not happening on both legs at the same time.
Never mind. They both must be happened, otherwise we can't have a discussion.
Yes.
So here you do lifting, moving, dropping. Other one is happening. So how to facilitate the pendulum part? What is your strategy must be?
I pay more attention to it.
So your attention never gone now. Your attention is here, lifting, moving, dropping. And how can you shift your attention from the lifting, moving, dropping to the just pendulum-like happening? Kind of irrational question I'm asking.
Let it happen over and over again?
Let it happen also, it's a very safe answer. But simply you can say, as far as you are meditating, meditation will never progress. The meditator must be out.
Okay.
So whenever people is going to start, they start left, right, lifting, moving, lifting, moving, dropping. As far as you are doing it in a way called regimentation, meditation never happens. But while you are doing, at a time you see, when you are observing the right leg, left leg is swinging. So that means, due to your wrong maybe the work, there are some endowments, there are some gifts. So whenever it happens, just see, let it happen without noting, without the vitakka. And if let go this noting, let go this applying thoughts. And if the mindfulness is disturbed, you have to again go for the applying thoughts or noting and say mindfulness is not mature enough. And at a time you may see, you can do away with noting, you can do away with vitakka vichara, and then both legs are happening, just like you are pedaling a cycle. And one thing is helping others, not lifting, moving, but the two cycles are happening equally. This is called pachapure sanya. While doing that, you have attention about here. While doing this, you have an attention. And this is the way mindfulness start diversification and go for multitasking. So there you have to, my simple term is put autopiloting. Autopiloting. That means do away with noting.
Yes.
Do away with vitakka vichara. Do away with the lifting, moving, dropping. Let the body knowledge to do. But don't do it earlier and don't get delayed also. You have to do exactly when the time matures. That is the most difficult parts to synchronizing, when to drop noting. I find, maybe I am unwanted statement I am going to make it. When I go to Panditarama, they have never understood that point. Always asking noting. So even the teachers, even the followers. So I found it's okay because that is the only thing helped me. And I know first jhana to second jhana, if you have to wish to improve, you have to drop vitakka vichara. You have to drop noting. So therefore stop regimenting. And whenever time permits, put into autopiloting. No one is happy with my statement. No one knows where to do it in a synchronizing way. And if it is happened, you are no more the same person. You know how to let the thing happen. Rather than controlling, managing and all the kind of thing, whenever the time happens, release. And today parents, utter criminals, they are controlling their children. And children always hate parents. Parents think this is our duty. But children are just, coincidence in sex act. Poor children become a victim of the parents. And ultimately, unshakable answer, the statement is children hate parents. So, when we are meditating, our body is hating us because too much regimenting. Of course, early part you have to regiment, otherwise you can't see the swinging leg. One thing, you are at a time, whenever it is happened to put autopiloting, it is beyond language. So that is the point where ayoniso manasikara becomes yoniso manasikara. Radical reflection has to happen. Just take a chance, let the other leg also go without swinging. So one day I gave a talk in Yatiyantota, and exactly like this. And 1 hour finished, without question and answer, I left. Dr. Jayaratna raised hand. I did not notice it. So I went there and told on the way some person, Dr. Jayaratna was there, and he raised hand, Bhante, you never noticed. I told her, I have no time, but I have to go to goal. So next day I came and asked the question. I don't know whether the doctor can remember. He says, Bhante, you were teaching us how to do when the breath disappears and let it autopiloting, how to put autopiloting in walking meditation. Walking meditation is the intentional thing. I told that if that is the question, I would have stayed that there and gave the question answer because it's very interesting. And what is happening in the walking is, it says anayasa in Sinhala, is automatically walking going to happen. The body knows its own body knowledge, the speed, the angle, and the effortlessly walking happens. And that is the point you are putting autopiloting, and it's also almost like blank mind. You are no more. You are intentionally not monitoring this thing. Your egotistic is not there. Body is walking, just like pendulum. And then you can see, you can get back and see you are walking. From the third man's third point of view, and walking can happen. That is the only point relaxation can take place. So therefore it is true. If walking meditation is leading to Nibbana, army people should have gone to Nibbana much earlier. So they do left, right, regimenting. But here we start with an army, at the point we give autopiloting, and then onward it becomes religious. So in sitting, in your walking, even when you are raising children, even when you are washing, even when you are eating, when you are drinking, you have to understand where to stop. Otherwise, obesity, diabetes, blood pressure, everything can happen because we don't have clutch and the brake. So this is very interesting. But I am not criticizing someone, no profession, no kind of thing. I am citing an example. So therefore, learn the art how let goism. But not before, not after.
Much merits. Thank you, Bhante.
Buddha Saranai, I hope you don't mind if I will tell my experience in sitting meditation.
Yeah.
At first, I am really not a Buddhist and I'm a Christian.
Never mind, you are a human.
And
you are a human.
I don't know anything about Sinhalese and other things, so I told my husband how to do these things. Then I asked my children to buy some books in English. And actually, I was the one who put them to the Dhampasala in Maharagama. Oh. And they don't accept my children because I'm a Christian. And I spoke to the late Reverend Madhi Panyasya.
Yeah.
And I told the problem. I'm a Christian and my children, I want them to be in this temple to learn Buddhism. So then I told that it's true that I am a Christian, but I would like my children to learn the Buddhism. So I know that your this thing, your aim in this world, you are going to spread Buddhism. And no any religion says you don't come and you are welcome. So that's the time he told me to, okay, you send your children next week. So my husband and my mother-in-law were surprised how. So it's very difficult. They are Buddhist. But I was able to enter my children. And I promised to go every Puya day and observe scene with them. But I was sitting down there and listening and do some of the this thing. Then the principal was very happy for that time.
Yeah, that is that the Lakshmi was asking to have this place for mindful children. We call mindful school. And that's a secular program. And let the children come and take 45 minutes, learn and do little bit of walking meditation. Another 45 minutes, learn theoretically and do little bit of sitting and give their response.
No, now this time my children, they are married. One had done the Dharma Charitra and now she is in Texas. I'm not boasting or anything, but my child and the husband, they are the one who is looking after the priest. Like that. After work, my son-in-law will go and do that. You know, she had been he's a heart case and admitted to the hospital. But my son-in-law and my child, they are the one who is looking after, putting some oil, rubbing to the body, and what my son-in-law after the work. And my daughter has to cook the food and give to the priest. That is this.
So therefore, yesterday we had
doing the generous thing. So
yesterday we had a discussion among the multi-religious people. Professor Dilip, what the name? Dilip Chitera came, and then a Hindu priest came, and the Muslim professor came, and Buddhists we discussed how much we can communicate among the human beings with this topic of mindfulness.
Only my husband is talking to me in English, others are talking in Sinhala. So I said, no one is talking to me, I want to see the TV. So then from there I learned how they are talking, what is the meaning and like that.
So don't understand, no use, useless.
Then that is, afterwards I read the books of Ajahn Chah.
Ajahn Chah, it's very nice.
That Reverend Kirinde Dhammananda. Like those are that Rerukan Chandavimala.
So they are broad-minded monks. They have written with the whole world community.
Then one day, I don't know, I was just sitting down and meditating. Then I keep my eyes closed and already this thing fully deep in concentration. So then suddenly I saw myself lying down and disintegrating. And it became a skeleton, my body. So I was screaming that what is happening? And I want to go back, I want to go. Then my husband came and shocked my body. What is happening? And then this hair all came up and I was shivering. I don't know what is the meaning about that.
So
Can
that
you please interpret
when that is
experience?
Happening, when that kind of a thing happen, either you have to take your body posture, you are sitting posture, or if you have the familiarity with the breath, if you are you practicing in-breath and out-breath meditation? Or
yes, sir.
Yeah, so then look at the breath. When the breath happens, that hallucination, that kind of thing will not create any problem. So otherwise you will be carried away by this appearing thing. So whenever such a thing happens, come back to your body, come back to your breath.
This experience to somebody else who is doing the meditation. He said, everybody wants that kind of experience.
Yeah.
Said, why become yes, that is really the one that everyone who meditates, that's their purpose.
So it's a very good sign. It's a very good endowment. It's a very good gift. But the thing is, our mind is not mature enough. So you have to let it happen again and again.
Yeah.
Whenever such a thing, doubtful thing happen, fearful thing happen, come back to your body and do verification.
Because I was telling, it's not I, it's not my body, it's not my soul. So that was going on through my mind, and suddenly I saw that.
So these things, whenever happening in the second time, third time, it is not much of a problem. It is we call familiarization or mastering. So do it again and again, go prepared, and if you have any doubt, if you have any fearfulness, refer back to your body, and then one day the mind can accommodate that kind of a thing, and then you become more immunized, you become more mature. It's something to be appreciated, something to be facilitated.
Thank you for the explanation.
You are welcome to this society. Come and share with us. So it is a...
Mother went already.
And that is a very nice thing the Dilhara is organizing, because a lot of her friends are not Buddhist, so they can have easy access to here.
Nobody had asked me not to go or you must come. No, it's my own will. Because I understand everything, Mother, the explanation of this several priests.
So, but
when I consider explanation.
Next time it will not happen. Next time it will be more familiar, more mature. So we have already 2 hours now, 9:30, 1.5 hours. So before closing, any more questions, or shall we sum up the session? But now I will go to that Silavati place, and they are having something, and they are waiting from 8 o'clock onward. I told that this is the place I would have put up with. And later some other thing happens. Still from the 27th onward, continuity. From the flight onward, it's running like day and night. I am very happy anyway, because I heard this place is more used for meditation now, and that Silavati center also there. So it's a very good news. And Venerable Chandaratana also, he often write to me in email so that I am informed. And Venerable Dhamma Vihari, they are also taking enough pain, but even then demand is so much. So therefore try to be contented to Venerable Chandaratana, and I leave it to him, and he will join me after 3 o'clock or so. We have to go to Kaduwela. Kaduwela also, the people are waiting, still a children program. So I am going to take leave. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sukhi hontu.